Hello, everybody. It's time for a Quickie.
Yes.
It's a Thursday Quickie for you. Well, if you're listening on the day that this comes out.
Yes, maybe some people are luxuriating. I'll have my quickie later in the week.
I prefer a weekend Quickie myself.
Maybe. All the best to you. But thank you for tuning in and joining us on Ghosts of Boyfriend's Past.
Now, today we're doing stories.
Yes.
Yes, we're doing a stories episode. So that just means that we read stuff that we've either found on the internet or that you sent us.
There's a lot of overflow, damming us up from our main stories.
Yep.
Some people only have a story that's a couple of sentences long. They don't have the time, energy,
Nope.
resources to come on the full show.
No.
So here we are.
So this one is one that I found on BuzzFeed, which is ridiculous but legit reasons that people had to get when they knew they had to get a divorce. So the first one is when he got jealous and mad over the fact that our new kitten preferred to sleep on me instead of him.
Yep, divorce. Right, pull the trigger.
Done.
Yep,
Done.
fine.
When my dad had a heart attack, the first thing my now ex said was, "Well, I can't take any time off work."
Yeah, that's on. Come on. So divorce, yep, okay.
Number 3, our 7-week-old daughter was in the NICU for 5 days and he went golfing twice.
Gee, yeah, that's
Twice.
pretty poor. How old was the daughter? 7 weeks.
7 weeks old.
So you've been a new father for 7 weeks, less than 2 months.
Yep.
And you go, I need to go golfing.
I'll go one more. When he threw down a game controller, then threw himself down to the floor, pounding the floor, kicking and crying in frustration for reals.
Yeah, the anger, the explosion of anger can be
I'm trying to find one where a
flag.
guy has said she's done this, but it's all of these just seem to be women making the decision to divorce finally. What have you got for us?
Well, across a similar vein, I rummaged up some worst date stories. Just your
Love
run-of-the-mill worst date stories.
Love it.
A couple of short and sweet ones. A guy took me to see his dying grandmother. Everyone was standing around crying while Grandma laid in bed unconscious.
It's not a date.
The nurse in charge was some random girl from my high school who recognized me and made some snide comment about me being a theatre geek. Grandma did pull through and lived for like 6 more months.
That's not a date.
That's not
a... And first date? Hello, meet my family. You might not need to know Grandma for long, but here she
And then
is.
she doesn't even pass away,
It's just
after,
rude, really.
Yeah, you're thinking if I'm here, I'm just a random person in this room. Everyone else is
Poor
family.
Grandma's sitting there probably going, "Who the fuck is this? Like, have I gone bonkers? Like, what?
Well,
I don't understand."
Elizabeth, let me know if this does anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck his fingers in my...
Sorry. Keep going. We've got stand-in producer Scott losing it at the moment.
He stuck his fingers
in
my dessert.
No, that's worse than what I was thinking.
Licked his fingers.
No.
And did it again.
No.
I ordered a lemon meringue pie and offered him some. He said no, only to then proceed to say, "Actually, that looks good," and sticks his fingers in for a taste twice. Yuck, they finish.
Scott, you look horrified or confused.
I know, I've got a question.
Okay.
But I mean, is this an intimate partner?
It's a date,
It's a date.
right? So you're on a
Oh.
date with someone and they've fingers across the table, hands across the border.
I'm so fine to share food, but not fingers
Yeah.
in my... Like, lemon curd, like, that leaves a dent,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's not like you're sticking your finger in a bit of soup and having a little taste and automatically the vacuum is filled.
I think
Yeah.
there is room, maybe not at the right restaurant or cafe.
It's like the guy who sniffed my ice
there
cream.
there is room for
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
literally. He was like, I can't... He's like, do you want to have an
Sorbet?
ice cream? And I was like, yes. And I ordered one. And then I'm like, what do you want? He's like, I can't. It's not a cheat day. So he watched me eat ice cream. And then halfway through, grabbed it, smelt it, and went, yeah, that'll do me.
At least it's low calorie.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
was a first date.
A first... Oh, no, that's wrong.
See, I bring these stories to the table, and then someone runs with it. Elizabeth, more divorce stories.
Hit me.
Oh no, sorry,
No,
another
you
worst.
want more divorce stories? Okay, I've got more divorce stories. After 10 years, he still didn't have a full-time job, and then he said, let's have a baby to save the marriage.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's our big fat no.
Totally wise. Very, very sage advice.
Since I worked full-time and my husband only worked part-time, I asked him to fill out our 3-year-old twins' nursery school placement forms. He told me he visited some and enrolled them in a school, and he even gave me a start day and time. When I showed up to take the twins there on their first day, I found out they were never enrolled. Who does that?
So he's not he's not enrolled his kids.
No.
And gone, this won't ever come back to bite me on the bum.
How do you just think this will never be found out? Maybe he thought he did and didn't. Like, can someone really be that vindictive or stupid that they...
How bad is your executive dysfunction?
Oh, there's more. Hold on.
Oh, dear.
My husband had never visited any centres, he said.
Okay.
When I asked him about it, he said he was scared to tell me. The day that I took the kids home distraught, called in sick to work... that day I took the kids home distraught, called in sick to work and packed his bags. He left without a word. The next day I got a text saying I forgot to black his PlayStation.
Oh. You can remember that.
It's a shatteringly low bar, isn't it, boys and girls and all...
Give me 1 or 2 more and we'll call it.
All right, I've got a date story to tuck us all in and
Great.
take us home. I almost fucked up even managing to go on the date by getting super drunk the night before with some friends and sending her a completely unintelligible series of texts that I had no recollection of sending to her. I woke up about lunchtime the next day, and she had been trying to call me as we were meant to be meeting at 2. I rang her straight back and apologized profusely. She was actually super cool about it, said we'd all been there, and if I still wanted to meet her, she was on her way into town.
Cute.
Amazing, what a great person giving me a chance, even though I'd been an absolute nightmare. Best behaviour today, you'll suffer through the hangover as punishment and make the effort she deserves, full stop.
Yes.
Had a shower, changed, and necked a couple of ibuprofen for the hangover and hopped on the bus into town. These were a brand of ibuprofen I'd not taken before, however, and on the bus to town I started getting quite hot. Probably just the hangover sweats, right? I feel kind of itchy too on my chest. Maybe it's just from drying a bit aggressively in my rush.
You got hives, buddy.
Get to the bar and meet her. You okay? You look a bit red, she says. Yeah, sorry, been in a bit of a rush, I reply, my voice scratchier than I remember it being. Less than 10 minutes of conversation later, and my lips and eyelids feel like they've begun swelling up. I go to the toilets to discover that under my shirt, my entire torso is covered in blotches.
Yeah.
Had to cut the date short and run to the pharmacy to buy some antihistamines.
I have been there. It's
I had
the worst.
been at the bar for 12 minutes. We had been speaking for 3 months. I never spoke to her again.
No.
Oh, no.
Genuinely think my parting words were, I think there's something wrong with me. I still stand by these words. So this poor chap has got too drunk and he's messaged her late at night, but then he's got the good... She's been great about it.
Do you know
he's back in.
I
and
100% would have
boom.
leaned into that. Like, I would have leaned into it and been like, what are the odds? Like,
Yeah.
let's try again because this is so ridiculous. I actually had to cancel a date because of hives and he didn't believe me. Like, we'd been talking on the phone for about a month and I first got... so I had like a flu-y thing and then they gave me antibiotics. So I cancelled because of the flu and I was ready to go out and then I had to cancel because it turns out that I was allergic to something in the antibiotics. Yeah. But I didn't find out because I thought, well, I've been taking them for 4 days. So this rash that I have must have nothing to do with the antibiotics. So I took the 5th and then I had to send a very embarrassing photo of myself covered in hives to be like, no, I swear to God, this is real.
Sexy pic?
No, not even. No. There was no sexiness. There was about the size of a 20-cent piece on my body not covered in hives. Everything else was hives.
Wow.
So there we go, dear readers of Ghosts of Boyfriend's Past. The good, the bad, and a lot of ugly dating stories from us today. Divorces and reasons therefore. And some at least funny dating stories.
Yeah, look, what's the reason why you decided to call it quits on your relationship? Whether it be a divorce or whether it be just, it's time to wrap things up, friend.
Was it one big issue or death by 1,000 cuts where you have a shopping list of reasons?
We need to know. And also, Bad date stories. We love them. You love them. Send them in.
Yes,
We
they
need
are
to
our
hear all of
bread
them.
and butter on this show.
100%. There's not a single person in this world that hasn't had a bad date. And if there is, you're a liar. And you were the bad date. You just had no idea. Write to us at ghostofboyfriendspast@gmail.com. And if you want to be in a main episode, that's notcanon.com/ghostofboyfriendspast. Thank you to our stand-in producer, Scott.
Yes.
Thank you to Tom. Thank you to me. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
La 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 la